How can they have so many and diverse queer characters, and yet none of them have started a friend group? I don't get it. Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing good. If you're new to this channel, you need to know that I usually do reactions and edits and give book rec, but it's been a long time since I've wanted to do a video like this, where I just rant about a specific subject. And I had many thoughts after the ending of season 3 of Sex Education, and I have watched some videos essay about the series as a whole and season 3 specifically, but nobody was actually talking about the thing that waited on me the most, I guess I can say it like that. And so I got tired of it and I said, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I actually like Sex Education a lot. I think it's groundbreaking in many ways, and I love how they managed to subvert a lot of tropes we see on TV. It's also a pretty good show in terms of diversity. But with each new season, I started to get more and more disappointed about what they were doing with the queer representation. I'm also not here to share my thoughts about the last season, but if you want to know where I stand, let me redirect you towards this wonderful video which basically summarizes my opinion of season 3. So if you're looking for someone who's going to shit on the show, that person is not going to be me. But I definitely think they missed the mark with the queer rep, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Obviously, this is my own personal opinion, and I would never pretend to represent the whole community because they are as much individual as their experiences. And me personally, I'm only sapphic and asexual, but still, I really wanted to make a video about the community itself because I feel like they could have done more. They could have done a lot more. Okay, so I don't exactly have a plan about how this video is going to go. I took some notes and I'm gonna read them at some point. I guess I'm going to start by explaining what made me want to do this video, and then I'm going to discuss each character and what I think could have been done differently, or at least what I had hoped to see. Let's say that. So first of all, the thesis of this video. And that's something that is pretty prevalent in many shows. Like nowadays, if we only base this off Netflix, we can see that Netflix is trying really hard to be more inclusive. And sometimes, most of the times, they don't do it the right way because I'm one of those people who's not going to be thankful just because I see some representation of it on TV. It has to be good representation, and for that to happen, we need actual writers and people behind the cameras and stuff who are the people they're trying to represent on screen, you know? And I might be wrong about that because I haven't checked, but I would walk into a fire and be sure to be left unharmed if I say that I think most of the writers for Sex Education aren't queer. That's only my own interpretation, of course, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm gonna die, but I don't know, you can feel it. And one of the things that like is continuing to amaze me in media is how it's rare to see many and diverse queer characters who have different experiences and who are not all white. And that's what makes me so mad about Sex Education, because they have so much potential. There is so much diversity. There could be more, of course. There always could be more, and especially like what I mean by more is the main characters could actually be more diverse and not just like mainly white people. One thing that always amazes me when I watch media is how they still today forget that we queer people gravitate toward each other.
How often do you really see a single queer person that hangs out with exclusively straight people? When you're queer, even if you don't know it yet, you somehow end up orbiting around other queer people. Example, you're in high school and you think you're straight, but then one of your friends comes out and you all support them, but then another one comes out and another one comes out, and by the time you finish uni, all of you are some flavor of L, G, B, or T, except for that one friend who is still, sadly, heterosexual. I don't know how it happens, but it happens. If you're not straight, chances are you'll probably end up hanging out with other not straight people.
But so one key factor that is missing from media and from the queer experience, and that I hope we're going to see more soon, is what it feels like to be in a friend group who's mainly queer. So my main problem with Sex Education is How can they have so many and diverse queer characters, and yet none of them have started a friendship, a friend group? I don't get it. And I especially don't get it because most of them, they're already friends. Like, why? Just why? And the best example of that is the scene in season 3, when I think it's episode 3, in the beginning of episode 3, when Hope called Carl, Maeve, Lily, and Ola into her office, and she basically tells them what is wrong with the way they're like wearing the uniform and stuff. And so you have this shot of her telling Ola that she should take her pin off. And we have this shot of Cal looking at it. And I don't know why, but from the way it was filmed and from the hints we were getting in the beginning, I thought this was going to be the start of something. And I was like, oh, so that's cool. So Cal, maybe they're going to like become friends with Ola, because that's actually what the pin is about. Like when they noticed that Ola had it, they were, I'm not going to say necessarily more comfortable to be in that room, but I don't know, it feels nice to know you're not the only one in the room. And that scene was that for me. And I thought it was going to be the start of something, but I guess the writers didn't want that, because apparently Carl is only interesting if they're the love interest of Jackson for some reason. We're gonna go back on this later in this video, because oh boy, I have a lot to say about this specific plot line. And one of the things that struck me the more I thought about season 3 is how, yes, everyone in the school was affected by the new guideline, obviously. But you could see, and it was actually like told in not the most subtle way, that marginalized people and like queer kids, it was harder for them. So I don't understand why they didn't like try to put into this scenario of season 3 a plot where they just rally. Because when Carl is talking to Jackson about the significance of having the abandoned toilet, and how devastating it is now that it's not here, and how other queer kids used to like use it to hang out and mostly like change because they didn't want to go in the locker rooms. Okay, so Carl talks about other queer kids. Where are they? Where are they? If anything, this specific experience, this trauma, if you want to call it that, it should have bring them together. So where the fuck are they? I don't understand. Now let's talk about each character. I'm going to start with Eric because he was the first queer character that we've seen in season 1. And for the most part, I think season 1 was good. It was good because it was refreshing to finally have like a character who was gay and out, and not to have another storyline surrounding everyone coming out. That may be my personal opinion on the matter, but I'm just so freaking tired of it. Like, you have so many more stories you can tell about queer people. We don't need coming out stories anymore. I mean, at least not of a gay man. Like, come on. So season 1 was good for that. And also for the friendship between Eric and Otis. It was just amazing to see how close they were and how affectionate they were, and like how obviously Eric's sexuality wasn't even like a problem in Otis' mind. It was just a thing lots of shows should do more. And I actually like that Eric kind of like broke this stereotype of the gay black best friend, because even though he is technically the gay black best friend, he's also one of the main characters of the show. And even in season 1, he had his own storyline. So to me, it was cool. It was really cool. And then season 2 happened, and now season 3. And then we have Adam, who's one of my favorite characters. I think his arc in the show is amazing. And I was actually one of those people who didn't really care about him and Eric. I wasn't a hardcore shipper, but I wasn't like all of those people who were like, oh no, they're giving us the bully falling in love with the gay guy stereotype, because to me it never felt like that. There is something that's really, really different in that storyline, and I'm shocked that not many people seem to have catch up on that. But Adam, even though he was a bully, like, I'm not going to defend him, he was a bully, he never bullied Eric because of his sexuality. He just bullied him, period. And that shift in the dynamic we often see on screen, it, in my mind, made it clear that if a relationship was to happen between them, obviously Adam needed to like grow and become like a different person, a better person, yes, but it wouldn't be that problematic because he never bullied Eric for his sexuality. So like, who cares? I mean, if he's becoming a better person, and like season 3 proved us that he is becoming a better person, then why should we care? But I also liked that they talked about how Otis thought it was a bit risky, weird, and unhealthy, and in a way it was, and I understand why he looked at it that way. But I'm also glad that Eric gave Adam a chance while also oh my god, that word is difficult to say. Prioritizing? Oh my god, putting the priority on himself. Sorry. But so yeah, Adam, I think, had a really great arc. But one of the things that confused me in season 3 was the fact that apparently people forgot that he's bi. Like, he had a whole storyline in season 3 about like coming to terms with his sexuality and actually using a word for it. The word is bisexual, and we never hear it again in season 3. Like, I understand in the beginning the I'm a bit of a puff now can be interpreted in I'm not totally a puff since I'm bi, but when the people were calling him gay, why didn't he say I'm not gay, by the way, I'm bisexual? Like, they could have made him say that, the writers I mean, and so I don't understand why they didn't do it. That confuses me a lot. And I liked how they subvert the trope of who's going to bottom and who's going to top. I think that was really great that they did this, because sexual preferences have nothing to do with how you present. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, and I just like that they did this with their storyline. But then the ending of season 3 happened, and I'm just confused. I'm confused because they pulled the I'm ready to fly and you're just beginning to walk card, which was totally out of nowhere and made no sense to me at all. Because first of all, Eric knew what he was getting himself into when he accepted to like give a chance to Adam or whatever. He knew. Second of all, okay, they're not out to Adam's mother, and I understand that in some situations it hurt Eric. I really do. I've been there, trust me, so I know. But it wasn't like they were hiding. I mean, they could be together at school, so what's the big deal? And the cheating part, I understand the feeling energized by the fact that he was allowed to be queer in Nigeria when he thought it was impossible. I totally understand that. I understand the feeling of being free, but cheating? Really? Why? And again, the reason behind it all, I find it really stupid, and it just made me like realize how quite selfish Eric is. And you know what? Maybe he just wasn't ready to be into a relationship. It could be that. But with the way he was so patient with Adam in the beginning and like trying to understand him, the way he seems to just not care at all at the end, because he could feel a little bit of remorse. Like, he could, but it doesn't seem like it to me. And again, the reason why they broke up just make no sense to me. Adam maybe was like too slow for him in his like accepting himself like journey, but also he just refused to go out in a gay club. You both are underage. Like, anyway, you couldn't go in. So I don't know. I hate that they pulled that card, because in other TV shows it made most sense, I feel. But here, I just think, I mean, it felt to me like the writers needed them to break up, and so they used that trope. But in this specific scenario, it just doesn't work because they were out as a couple. So, like, Eric, I get you, but like, you knew what you were getting into, man. Why? Just, that's so stupid. Okay, now let's talk about Ola and Lily's relationship, and actually Ola and Lily as like characters. Ola, I like her. Sometimes she annoys me, but most of the time I do like her. I like the fact that she's pansexual. I think her journey was very interesting to see, and I like the fact that Lily doesn't has a label. Like, I don't even know if she considered herself queer. She just loves Ola, and that's period. And I think that's good. We don't need her to have a label. But the thing that didn't vibe with me with the relationship is how they started, because they were background characters, right? They were side characters, and I feel like the transition between them being friends and then Ola starting to feel something more was a tad rushed, because I love childhood friends or just like friends to lovers trope. It's one of my favorite tropes. But we barely had time to see them actually be friends. So I think it would have been better if they just waited a bit longer in the season for making stuff happen, because it was rushed, and so I didn't feel anything watching them. I was just like, okay, cool, thanks for the rep, I guess. that's like when we say we want rep, we don't want rush storylines. And I'm not saying that their couple isn't cute, because I think they're cute and they work. And actually, it surprised me when in season 3 we see the dream sequence of Lily and we realize actually what Ola means to her. Because from just their scenes up to that point, that was not obvious. Like, I'm sorry, Ola's affection and love for Lily was really clear, but Lily, I know, did I felt she had feelings for her, and did I understood what Ola meant to her? No, I don't think I did, and that sucks. Like, why? About Ola, I also want to point out that one of the things I liked the most in season 2 was her friendship with Adam. And at the beginning of season 3, I was floored because they had a scene together, and I still think they're like a very interesting dynamic, and I like them as friends. And then they don't interact. And when I was talking earlier in this video about how it's weird to me that there isn't a queer friendship group that exists, if there should be one friendship group, it should be between Adam, Eric, Lily, and Ola. Because it makes sense, they're already friends, we just don't see them hang out. And again, why don't we? I don't get it. Now let's talk about Carl. I liked the way they were introduced. I think it was well done because it was like subtle. If you could read between the lines and if you had heard stuff from what season 2 was going to be about, you could pretty much from the beginning tell what the storyline was going to be and who they were and stuff. And I liked how they didn't exactly explain the non-binary thing, because I hate when media try to like explain everything. Like, just go with it. Like, it's 2021, and if people just don't know, they can Google it anyway. But so I liked how it felt really natural, like Jackson misgender them and they just say, hey, my pronouns are they, them, bye. And then they have struggles with the new guidelines that aren't really like fair for non-binary and trans folks. But then their storyline just stops. And it's what annoys me, because up until that point, most of the queer characters had actual personalities and you grew attached to them. And I like Carl, but also I can say that I know Carl. I mean, I know they're from New Jersey. I know they like to smoke some weed, and I know they like skateboards. That's it. That's really all you could do. And that brings me to their relationship with Jackson, and also what I thought about that. I thought that was the most pointless thing I have ever seen in my life. Like, the idea of a straight guy being attracted to someone who's non-binary and then questioning, well, does that mean I'm queer too then? That's interesting. But that was so freaking rushed. And for what? Like, just to me, it feels like the beginning of season 3 and the ending of season 3 were written by like different writers. That, anyway, it was just disappointing in so many ways. And I also don't understand why they didn't pursue the Jackson into theater storyline, because even though he wasn't the best, he could have found himself into theater, I think. And the potential of the analogy they could have made with theater and how free of an art it is, because it is really free as an art form. You can be whoever you want when you're on stage. And so coupling that with the non-binary team and the queer team would have made so much sense. And then we could have had Florence back, because like when I saw her story in season 2, and she went to Jean and she was confused and she was scared to like be broken and stuff, it might be one of the first time that I truly felt represented, and it was a big moment for me. And I also love the fact that she had a personality. She wasn't like the usual asexual characters you see on TV. She had a personality, she had flair, she had passion, she was kind of a know-it-all. She was definitely a Leo as well, but I like that about her. She had a purpose, and then they just don't bring her back. And again, that's so much missed potential in my eyes, because imagine having a TV show where the main subject is sex, and then you have this one character who just doesn't get it. Like, the potential for jokes is endless, and she vanished. So thanks for that, I guess, Sex Education. And her character brings me to something else that some people already touch upon. A YouTuber I follow, Rowan Ellis, actually talked about this in her asexuality in media video. I'll link to the video in the description below, because it's an amazing video. And when I first started watching Sex Education season 1, I was actually thinking that Otis might be Ace, and that would have been cool. Let's say he was Ace. How cool is that? An asexual person helping, guiding people in their sexual lives? Like, that's literally what I'm doing with my friends, and I'm asexual, so like that exists, that's possible. But they didn't. They instead they went for the overused. Oh no, he was scared of sex because of trauma. Yay! To put an end to this video, I'm just going to say this. Please do better. Please start writing TV shows that have storylines centered around queer people. Start telling stories about friendship, not coming out. Start telling other stories. Like, please just freaking do something, okay? It's just annoying to see the same thing again and again and again. And when you have the chance to have a diverse cast of people and they still aren't really fleshed out. Like Carl, for example, I'm going to talk about them again, but who are they? What do they like? And besides being the love interest of Jackson, like, and you know, a character who like brought some of the conflict for season 3, like, who are they? Please just give us stories, give us a chance to shine. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But also give us couples and storylines we actually want to see, because as I was saying before, Ola and Lily, even though I like their relationship now, I just don't love it, and I don't understand why they're even together at that point. And what's really making me sad is that the couple that I would have wanted to see, if anything, is Amy and Maeve. And before you start saying stuff like, yes, but their friendship is amazing and it's so great to see such strong bond between females, where have you been? Like, we have many strong friendships between females on TV. They could have at least give us that, because their friendship was simultaneous to the show since season 1, and so we were attached to them as friends. And imagine just seeing them fall in love. Amazing. I'm just sad that we're still getting the same storylines over and over again, that when we do get representation, it's with characters that aren't really the main focus, and I just wish you do better. Please, 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 please do better. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more videos, you can check out my channel. You can also subscribe and follow me on Twitter. You can leave a like if you like this video, and please leave comments, because I feel like I'm kicking an open door. But as I said, I haven't seen anyone talk about this, and I'm wondering, am I the only one feeling that way? Anyway, until next time, bye!